These 11 movies aren't just horror movies, they're horror films, with a capital F. Even if you're not a fan of the horror genre, the artistry in each of these films elevates them enough for any film snob to appreciate. Subscribe for more videos like this, and also comment below any movies you think I missed out on. The Babadook is an unconventional but very interesting horror film with a focus on character and heavy use of allegory. The story follows Mother Amelia and her son Samuel, the real villain of the film. Like, bro.
You wanna die? Why can't you just be normal?
Have you ever tried beating his ass?
One night before bed, Samuel requests a bedtime story, handing his mom a book she's never seen before, Mr. Babadook. They read it together but soon realize the book is rated T for teens. Samuel is terrified. Mom hides the book and decides to have some adults-only fun. Until Sam's nightmare ruins her nut. Come on, Sam. Blue-balled mom destroys the Babadook book. However, the next morning, the book is returned to her house fully restored with an alternate ending. The Babadook claims to be growing stronger from mom's denial, threatening to possess the mom and, take care of Samuel, wink wink, which might actually be a good thing. Mom soon begins seeing the Babadook everywhere, driving her crazier than her badass son ever could. The Babadook's subtle exploration of grief and motherhood is its greatest strength, but still provides plenty of scares for horror junkies like me. Hereditary is a movie that truly haunted me. The paranormal stuff is scary, sure, but it's the dreadful family drama at the center of the film that makes Hereditary so chilling. The story follows Annie after the death of her mother. Although they had a strained relationship, Annie still feels her mother's presence lurking, leading her to attend nightly grief counseling. Charlie, Annie's creepy daughter, has been coping in other ways, mainly through sick, decapitated bird art. But Charlie too has been seeing visions of ghost grandma. The fire around grandma suggests she might not be looking down on the family, if you know what I mean. Annie forces Charlie to go to
just like a school barbecue thing?
With her brother Peter to clear her head. Peter ain't interested in babysitting though. Peter gets lifted as Charlie has the munchies. Unfortunately, Charlie has an allergic reaction at the party, ruining Peter's high. They then rush off to the hospital, desperate to get Charlie some help, but yeah. What follows is the most emotionally disturbing scene in film I can think of. You have to experience it for yourself. Hereditary is not just another horror movie. It's honestly a family drama, but the most horrific family drama I've ever seen. The Conjuring is a simple yet well-executed haunted house movie supposedly based on a true story, but the story itself is as basic as it gets. Family moves into a creepy house, their dog is sus, everyone ignores it, the dog warns them again, and then the dog ends up dead for snitching. Rest in peace to a real one. A few nights later, this little girl learns a lesson about sleeping with your feet exposed, and mom checks out a scary sound in the basement. She then takes the longest, most comical fall I've seen in a movie not made for laughs. Round of applause for that one. Wow, turns out the dog was right, the house is haunted. The mom then seeks out real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, teaching classes at what must be Gallatin. Seriously, what major requires demonology class? Also, shout out my NYU peeps. Anyway, the Warrens arrive, investigate a little, and then repeat the obvious. The house is haunted.
We have to get out of here.
I'm afraid that's not gonna help.
The success of The Conjuring is purely in how well done everything is. The effects look good, the ending is tense, the Warrens are actually very entertaining leads, and it's paced well. Although it's not the most original premise, The Conjuring confidently stands above its competition as a modern-day classic. The Witch is an atmospheric period piece that's visually appealing and suspenseful, but perhaps a little too dense for broad audiences. The story follows an exiled family forced to live on the outskirts of a forbidden forest. One day, Thomasin, the eldest daughter, is babysitting her baby brother when he suddenly goes missing. Greatest peekaboo player ever. The Witch of the Wood then uses him as body lotion. The father and son seek out the child while hunting, but instead come across a wascally wabbit. Too bad he gets away. Caleb then returns home and oogles at his sister. I guess romantic options were limited. So the pair later decide to run away together. However, the rabbit returns and Caleb chases after her to avenge his pops. Unfortunately, he gets lost in the woods where he finds the witch, now looking easy, breezy, beautiful with her new baby lotion. They get busy and Caleb returns to the farm, naked, cursed, yet satisfied. The family then blame Thomasin, claiming she's actually the witch. The film then spirals into paranoia as the family bond deteriorates. The time-accurate dialogue and slow burn pacing can initially be a turn-off, but beneath that, The Witch is a stylish and well-made horror movie. The Thing is a very grotesque but ultimately great film. The story opens at a research station in Antarctica as a helicopter chases this adorable doggo.
There.
Aww, look at him. Turns out the pilot and the dog have beef, so it's on site, but the men at the base pack that thing too. They radio for help, but signal's pretty bad in Antarctica, so they venture out to a nearby base for help, but it's mysteriously been destroyed and abandoned. There, they discover the thing. At first, the team doesn't know what it is, but they do know two things. One, it ain't from Earth. Two, it's nasty looking. Things then get worse when their rescued pup evolves into a demogorgon. The other dogs aren't too happy with their new roommates, so they do what Americans do best, burn shit to the ground. Unfortunately, the thing already got a hold of one of the team members, and possibly more. The rest of the film plays out like a live-action game of Among Us. Nobody can be trusted, everybody's sus. The thing's ability to shapeshift creates the perfect amount of tension, making the film incredibly suspenseful and surprisingly clever. Coupled with the disgustingly beautiful practical effects of the creature design, The Thing is a movie I can't stop thinking about. It Follows is a sleek and refreshing horror movie with an insane premise. Essentially, it's about a monster that kills you for having sex. The main story then follows Jay as she goes on a date to, I guess, an opera or something, I don't know. The guy's being really sus though, claiming to see someone who isn't actually there. Homie then rushes out of the theater with Jay. For some reason, this isn't a red flag for her though, and she follows this weirdo into the woods for some penis. Then this trigger warning moment happens. Told you. Jay wakes up handcuffed to a wheelchair when Homie reveals he gave her the world's deadliest STD, this thing that will follow you until it kills you or you have sex with someone else. Homie then dips. Jay is skeptical at first until sexually transmitted demon follows her to school. Jay panics at the sight of the creepy grandma form it chose to chase her, cutting class for the rest of the day. Later that night, her friends try to console her, but the thing returns with a new look. The group then goes searching for Homie from the one-night stand for more answers, but as before, he tells her to pop that pussy or perish. The rest of the film is a series of suspenseful hijinks as the group try their best to save Jay from the horny monster. It Follows is very aesthetically pleasing, tense, and by far the best abstinence PSA I've ever seen. Lights Out is a short and sweet horror movie with a well-used central gimmick, that being an entity that only attacks in the dark. The story opens with Rebecca after getting her guts rearranged, kicking her boyfriend out of her apartment. We then jump to her little brother Martin back at home catching their mom talking to herself, or at least he thought so.
Did we wake you?
We?
Turns out Mom has company. Martin's been losing sleep after finding out Mom's having an affair with the demon. Concerned about his well-being at home, the school calls his sister Becca to pick him up. However, Becca's been estranged from the family for a while, but immediately starts some drama when she returns.
How long have you been off your meds?
Excuse me?
Martin says, "Let's bounce, bitch crazy," so Becca takes Martin home with her. However, someone else comes along for the ride.
This is crazy.
Rebecca returns to the family home where she discovers Mom and the Shadow Woman are day one besties. Her name is Diana and she died as a child during an experimental procedure. Mom then tries to introduce Martin to Diana, but she's not too friendly with strangers. The rest of Lights Out is just a lot of fun. I like the characters and the scares make the most of its simple concept. The film can feel a little shallow sometimes, but if you're afraid of the dark, Lights Out is sure to give you nightmares. Don't Breathe is perhaps the most suspenseful movie in our marathon. The story starts with this group of amateur burglars, Angry, Mopey, and the girl. As Mopey and girl handle business, Angry leaves behind some DNA. Mopey's the brains of the operation, but is only in the business for the girl though. Hopefully this goes better than it did with Hannah Baker. So anyway, Angry gets a tip about a new gig for the group, but Mopey's skeptical.
$300K. That means 10 years if we get caught.
We won't get caught.
Somehow, that's enough convincing for Mopey to go along with it. What a simp. They stake out the house for a while, but there's a catch.
Is he blind?
They may be getting rich, but they're clearly morally bankrupt. The group then break in, disable the alarms, and... wait. Gas out the old guy? Angry then tries to force himself into the basement. He then chooses a different tool for the problem. Then shit gets real.
Who's there?
Angry threatens the old guy, but he ain't with all that. The rest of Don't Breathe is edge of your seat suspense as the group desperately attempt to escape the house with the money and their lives. I had so much fun watching this movie, and there are more than enough twists to always keep you guessing. By the end, you'll be holding your breath too. The Strangers is a cult favorite horror movie that I honestly found pretty dull. I think the setup is rather ambitious, introducing us to a couple going through some relationship drama. However, this brief attempt at character development is all the movie offers beyond jump scares. So pretty much, Homelander proposed at a friend's wedding, but his girl turned him down. So they mope around a bit until they decide, meh, let's just fuck. Unfortunately, an unexpected guest interrupts the fun. The stranger at the door is being as sus as a stranger at the door at 4 AM would be.
See you later.
You one crazy ass bitch.
Homelander wants to get back to action, but she's like nah, so he downs a bottle and goes out to get a DUI. Alone, Kristen fantasizes about the life she literally just turned down when another knock is heard. For some reason, she's only now locking the front door. Might be a little too late for that, sweetheart. She then calls her man, but turns out she already has company. The Strangers then plays out like an extended game of cat and mouse. There isn't much to the story, but it does attempt to subvert your expectations. By tapping into the paranoia of being alone at night, The Strangers succeeds as a horror movie, but still feels a little hollow. Get Out is a nearly flawless film with its use of suspense and satire. The story follows Chris before a vacation with a
White woman!
They know I'm black.
No, they are not racist.
Dr. Umar would be so disappointed. They travel to the remote family home of the Armitages. There, Rose's parents try to show off just how woke they are to Chris. The brother then shows up, but he's a little less PC.
Fucking beast.
Yo, Zan, get your boy, dog.
Chris ain't feeling the vibe. After a late night smoke, Mom confronts Chris, inviting him into her office. There, they have a nice chat over tea, until she sends him into an interdimensional plane of consciousness known as the Sunken Place. Something must have been in that tea. The next day, the family hosts a big event where Chris becomes the life of the party. He is the only black guy after all. Somebody's gotta teach him the new dance moves. Fortunately, another brother's at the party, but he's more of the Carlton type. Chris tries to sneak a picture of the dude, but Carlton snaps and yells the title of the movie. Get Out succeeds by being relevant and relatable, perfectly capturing the anxiety of being black. As a black man, I loved Get Out. And as a horror junkie, I loved Get Out. Us is a movie I really enjoyed until I didn't. The film is very strong until the last act, and after that I kinda check out. The story starts after this little girl is attacked by her evil twin after wandering off on her own. She grows up but now suffers from beach TSD.
We're going to the beach?
Yeah.
Mom starts having Vietnam War flashbacks on their way there. At the beach, they meet up with that one fake nice couple we've all met before. The boys hit it off, the women barely pretend to like each other, and now their son wanders off, running into a bleeding beach bum. Mom warns that the beach was bad vibes and confesses to the whole evil twin thing. Pops thinks Mom's tripping. Then the power goes off.
There's a family in our driveway.
Pops confronts the family on some fake tough guy swag, but they put him in his place real quick. Turns out the whole family has doppelgangers, and Mom's evil twin is here for revenge. Pops still thinks everybody's tripping though, so they teach him a hard lesson.
Excuse me.
Us is pretty entertaining well past this point in the film, but its final act detracts from most of the setup. I feel as though the story honestly becomes contrived, especially after the film's transition into a zombie-like apocalypse. Just like Tethered, Us is both good and bad. Our first honorable mention this week is Rosemary's Baby, which I haven't actually seen before. Rosemary's Baby is a movie I've always heard praise for, but never given the time it deserved. I wish I had more to say about it, but as I said, I'm a failure who hasn't seen every movie ever. Next, we have Oculus, which I have seen. Oculus is interesting because it tells two different stories at two different times in our main characters' lives, all revolving a haunted mirror. I thought this movie was very effective and definitely more sophisticated than a haunted mirror movie would normally be. And finally, The Shining. Here's a hot take. This movie is very overrated. Maybe I just don't get it, but I wasn't very entertained. I'll give credit to the performances and iconic imagery, but meh. And with that, another 11 films completed. I honestly feel like I can watch these films any time of year and be satisfied. They really are impressive, even though some aren't my favorite. Let me know what you think about my choices though. And also be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe to my channel for more content. Pretty please, and thank you for watching.